Hello, welcome to Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. And I'm doing a I'm Heather, by the way, and welcome to my channel. And so what I'm doing today is a collaboration for hashtag Slow Cooker Palooza. And it's brought on by Luann from Luann's Kitchen. And what I'm going to be cooking today is I have a beef roast in my crock pot. It's down in the bottom. Let me get a spoon so I can move it aside to show you. So I've got a beef roast. I've got some fresh garlic, pepper, salt, and I diced up some purple onions, some carrots, and some potatoes. And I've put just plain water in. You can use broth if you want, liquid, so that my meat gets nice and tender. I'm going to add a little bit more water, and I'm going to make sure that my meat has water about halfway up. And so what I'm going to do with this, when it's done, it'll take probably 8 to 10 hours until it's nice and tender on a high setting. Is what I'm going to do is I'll drain the liquid into a pot, like a smaller pot, and I'm going to mix brown gravy and do a thick brown gravy mixture. I'll shred the beef up, and then what I'll do is I'll cook some rice, and I'll put a bed of rice on a plate or in a bowl, and then I'll put the beef and the potatoes and the veggies on top with the brown gravy, and it'll make a delicious meal. And this will be able to go for several days of dinners and or lunches for my family. And so it'll probably take 8 to 10 hours until the beef is nice and tender. I'll check it every now and then and see if I need to add any more water, which I shouldn't. I've got it halfway up my meat, so it's nice and tender. And then I will take you along the next steps as I make the brown gravy and shred the beef and put it on a bed of rice. So there you are. There's my hashtag Slow Cooker Palooza crock pot meal that I am making. So it'll go a long ways and fill bellies and keep you nice and warm on these cold days. So there you have it, and I will come back when we get further along with it being done. All right, as I promised you, I showed you what I would do with the rest of the slow cooker recipe. Again, don't forget to look down in the comment section, or not the comment, the description. I got it. In the description, I will have Luann's Kitchen in there, and you can go to her channel and look at her slow cooker recipes, and anybody else who's made videos on slow cooker recipes will be in a playlist on her channel. So let's get to it. So let me bring you in closer. Okay, so what I'm going to do, or what I have done, is I took the juices from the roast and I ladled it into the saucepan, and I'm going to make some brown gravy. I buy it in bulk, so I measured out. I'm doing 4 cups. It depends how much you make in gravy that you would want to add to yours. But because of the amount that I made, I'm gonna need a little bit. So I need 3 tablespoons per cup, so 3, 6, 9, 12. So I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons times 4. I know, this is probably the boring part. Anyway, so you can, if you don't have brown gravy, I will show you a way that you can use just flour to make a gravy. and the broth. So what you want to do is you want to use a whisk, and you're just going to kind of whisk it against the side so you break up all the little clumpies, and you're just going to kind of wait until it gets thickened on a medium high. It's already starting to get thick, and I'm just going to keep going and going and going and whisking so I can keep the clumps from clumping. And make sure you go all the way around, making sure there's nothing on the bottom sticking. And there's the brown gravy. It can get a little bit thicker. You might want to take it off the burner just before it gets just to the right thickness that you want it, because it'll continue to keep thickening after you take it off the burner. So I'm going to move this brown gravy to the back burner, and I measured out 1 cup of the liquid from the roast, and I'm going to show you how to make a gravy if you don't have a gravy mixture. So you're going to add a little bit of flour at a time. You don't want to do it too much because you don't want it to taste like too much like flour. Same thing is you're just going to stir with your whisk against the sides, trying to break up the clumps until it gets to the desired thickness that you want. You can also take a spoon and lightly dip it in here and taste it to make sure you don't want to add any like garlic seasoning, salt or pepper, or whatever seasonings you want to use. And then I'm going to turn the heat off on this. Yeah, so whatever juices you have from a dish that you make, you can add a little bit of flour and make a gravy. I've got a couple little lumps in there, see that? I'm just trying to show you so you know. So you're just going to keep eating it or mixing it until you get those lumps out. All right, looks good. I'm going to take that off the burner as well. So I've got the brown gravy that I made, and then if you don't have a gravy package, flour works just fine with your juices from whatever meats that you cook. And at the end of this video, I will show you dishing up the rice, and I have separated the vegetables into a bowl, and I separated the meat and I shredded the meat up. I'm gonna put probably 1/4 of this meat in a different container so I can mix it with taco seasoning for taco night. And I'll show you a picture. I'm gonna use an ice cream scoop with my rice, and so I take the ice cream scoop and get a perfect ice cream scoop amount right in the center of my plate, and then I'll use the back side of the ice cream scoop to dent it, and then I'll put all my fixings on top. So I'll put the picture at the end, and thank you for joining me.